Smailholm Tower is a peel tower at Smailholm, around 5 miles west of Kelso in the Scottish borders. Its dramatic situation, atop a crag of Lady Hill, commands wide views over the surrounding countryside. The tower is located at grid reference NT 637346, just west of Sandyknowe Farm, and is now a scheduled ancient monument in the care of Historic Scotland. In June 2007 it was awarded the maximum 5-star status as a tourist attraction from Visit Scotland, a rating bestowed on only 8 other sites in Scotland. History. Smailholm Tower was originally built in the 15th century or early 16th century by the Pringle family. This family, originally spelt Hopringle, who were followers of the Earl of Douglas, held the lands of Smailholm from the early 15th century, and managed part of Ettrick Forest for the feudal superior. The word home stands for little island, and smail might be smail, smail, schmile, small, smalls, smalls, and smeal, derived from the Old English pre-7th century schmile, meaning small, slender or thin, and was originally given as a nickname to one of slight stature. Smailholm Tower was designed, in common with all Scottish peel towers, to provide its occupants with protection from sporadic English raids. The tower was attacked by English soldiers in 1543, 1544 and again in 1546, when the garrison of Wark Castle sacked the tower and carried off prisoners and cattle. The castle was successfully defended against the English in 1640 by Sir Andrew Kerr of Greenhead. Smailholm was obtained by the Scots of Harden around this time. The Scots, ancestors of Sir Walter, rebuilt parts of the tower and barmcan. In the 18th century the tower decayed, following the family's move into nearby Sandyknowe. The last owner, the Earl of Ellesmere, handed the property into estate care in 1950. It was restored in the 1980s, and now operates as a museum. The tower, Smailholm, was a relatively small tower house, offering around 200 square meters of floor space, later extended by construction of a whole house and second kitchen within the barmcan, or courtyard. The rectangular tower is of 4 stories, situated on top of a rocky outcrop. The tower is approximately 12.1 meters by 9.4 meters, with basalt rubble walls 2.4 meters thick. The vaulted basement was originally divided into 2 floors by a wooden entrestle reached by a ladder. The door is on the south side, in a large red sandstone arch, with the turnpike stair in the southeast corner. Above the vault is the hall, with a fireplace to the north featuring a carved human face. The top floor has an unusual elliptical stone vault which supports a stone flag roof. Parapet walks run along the longer north and south sides, although both are interrupted, the north by a chimney and the south by a window. These upper parts of the tower, including a gun loop in the west gable covering the barmcan, were remodeled in the 17th century. The tower is surrounded by the remains of a stone barmcan wall, within which the ruins of outbuildings and a small chapel are still visible. The east part of the barmcan once contained a small garden, all of which is now gone. The western barmcan is more intact, with walls up to first floor level around the narrow entrance in the west wall. The courtyard, around 16 meters by 19 meters, contains the foundations of a single-story hall house of the 17th century to the north, and a 2-roomed kitchen block to the south. A ditch protects the western approach to the tower, the other 3 sides being naturally protected by the face of the outcrop. 100 meters to the southeast, more earthworks mark the presence of a much older settlement, probably dating from the 1st millennium BC. Smailholm Tower is now used to display an extensive array of model people illustrating the history of Smailholm and the stories of Walter Scott, a display created by 2 local artists and employing high-quality embroidery and modeling techniques. From 2006, experiments were conducted on the roof to establish the most suitable damp-proofing method to apply to other such properties, including the planting of turf or mats of sedum plants. As a result of this, a restoration project in 2010-11 reinstated a turf roof over the entire structure. Sir Walter Scott. The tower provided inspiration to Sir Walter Scott, who visited his paternal grandfather here when still a boy. Scott spent considerable time at the tower during his youth, reportedly for the benefit of his health. Smailholm provides the setting for Scott's ballad The Eve of St. John, and also appears in Marmion. As a result of Scott's poetry, his uncle restored the tower, making it safe. Around 1800, Turner visited Smailholm with Scott in the author's later years. His sketch of the tower was included in Scott's poetical works. Turner's journey with Scott traced scenes from Marmion, and not long after this, the pioneer of photography Fox Talbot repeated Turner's itinerary, publishing what is considered to be the first photographic travelogue, a tourist coffee table book, Sun Pictures in Scotland, in homage to both Scott and Turner. In popular culture, Smailholm Tower was the centerpiece of the children's adventure novel In the Keep of Time by Margaret J. Anderson, Indiana, which 4 English children staying with their aged Aunt Grace travel through time by means of a magical key, first to the time of James II, then to a future after the fall of civilization.